Are you guilty of making one of the top 10 business planning mistakes as you go through your business planning process? If you are, you're not alone. At one point or other, we've probably all done some form of what we're going to talk about. But I want to review this with you to give you some of the ideas that what's happening out there in the business planning world. Number 10 is people are making absurd forecasts. When they look at what their projections are for sales, income on a new start, or even a relatively new start, they're guessing at it. Where are they going to come up with this? How did you come up with these numbers? Are they pulling it out of the air and putting it on their paper? Unrealistic forecasts, number 10. They just basically write out their plan and they worry about the details down the road. We're going to put that off till later. We'll get into the details. I just want to have a basic understanding. Well, depending on what or what not you're going to use your business plan for, you can't do that. You need the details on how things are going to be done from day one, starting out. Once you lay this plan out, you need to have those details in place. Number 8 is people tend to fudge the details for the first year, especially on their sales and finances. Well, we all want to look good when we start a business. So so we don't look like we're not as successful as we want, we might fudge those numbers. I've seen it time and time again. People they don't want to sell that they didn't sell anything or make any income the first couple of years. Don't be afraid to say, as people say, went revenue free that first year. It takes time to build a business. And depending on your product or service, it may take longer than others. But don't fudge the numbers. Because if you've got to send follow-up documents to a lender or something else, they better be accurate. Otherwise, you're going to be in a lot of trouble because they could call that note, and all of a sudden you got to pay back your operating loan that you just got, and you don't have it. Be honest with your numbers. If sales aren't what they expected, adjust the plan. Number 7, people tend to overvalue their business idea. I've turned away potential clients for this simple matter, is they've got a hobby or a side hustle they want to turn into a full-time business. Not every hobby or side hustle will withstand a full-time business. It might be great for what they're doing it for. They tend to think, and people will convince them, friends, family, oh man, this is a great idea. You can make a ton of money off this idea. You just got to get into business and do it. Well, sometimes we have to be the naysayer and say, you better stay with what you're doing right now as a hobby or a side hustle, because unless there's a way that market changes, that's not going to be sufficient enough to bring you the income that you desire. Number 6, they dilute the priorities. We all have priority items that have to get done. Some people will water them down because they don't want to make hard decisions or work that hard, or whatever the case may be. Everybody's got their own reason why, but they water down their priorities to make them easier to achieve or what has to be done. Number 5, confusing cash with profits. We all know cash is king, but people, especially new businesses and people that have not run a business before, think, oh, I got cash coming in the door, I'm making money. Well, as Jim Palmer says, gross is for vanity, net is for sanity. We get money in, that's great. Money's coming in the door, we got all this money, we're sitting there thinking, okay, I'm doing real well. But if you're taking in 1,000 and spending 1,010, you're not making any profit. So understand that a balance sheet, cash in the bank, is not necessarily profits until you net it out. Gross is for vanity. I mean, as Jim says, I'm making $100,000 this year. Oh, great. On a startup, you made $100,000, but that gives us bragging rights, as it were. But when you net it out, that's what's paying your bill and keeps you sane. So again, we don't realize the difference on a new business unless you've been dealing with bookkeeping and cash flow and things like that. that cash and profits are two different things. Number 4, we hide the plan from our team. We've talked about sharing this with the right people before, and a lot of people just take this plan, they've created this great plan, they throw it in the drawer and they don't show anybody. Well, that doesn't help run the business. We need to have the people that are going to do those pieces of that plan need to see the plan. How are we going to do it? What's expected of them? Number 3, they failed to finish the plan. Oh, I'll finish it later. I don't need this. I know how to run what I'm going to do. I know how to run my business. I don't need to write it down. They get this thought process that it's just all for nothing. And so they don't finish it. Well, you can see those that are struggling probably haven't completed their plan. Not all of them, but there's a chunk of them that haven't thought the process through. Number 2, they try to create this big plan in one push. I evolved creating a business plan like eating an elephant, one bite at a time. You take one section, you complete one section, you lay it aside. You start with the second section, finish it, lay it aside, do it all in pieces. It's not as overwhelming as it is if I look at, I got to come up with all this. You just focus on one piece at a time. Makes it so much easier to digest. It takes the stress out of it. It works. I've been doing it this way for years, and I don't look at this great big plan I have to commit, right? I need to look at, how am I going to market the business this year? What do I want to do? When I write all that stuff down, then I set it aside. And then I come and I do the next piece. And then when I get all done with that, then I start tying it more together, but I put all my thoughts in one piece at a time to relieve that stress. And the number one reason, or number one mistake in the business planning process is people misunderstand the reason for the business plan and the process. They don't understand it's not about creating this beautiful document, it's about the planning process itself. What are we going to do? It's your roadmap, it's your step-by-step guide, whatever you want to do it, it's the blueprint. We misunderstand it, why we're putting so much time in creating a document. It's not just to create the document, it's to give us the wisdom that we need to take our business from where we are today, in whatever level you are, to that level of success we want to achieve. So it's about the plan. It's not the paper it's written on. It's the process of getting there. I hope these tips helped you. I'm Dave Brown, the Business Plan Answer Man, and I want to hear from you. Please like, share, comment on this video. I love to hear your thoughts and feedback. It helps me do a better job, and I can share more relevant information with you. So if you got anything that you have questions on, please post it in here. Let me know. Instant message, email. I'd love to hear from you. I want to wish everybody great success in their business.